Excellence in service means a little bit different to me, I think, than maybe what a lot of people see as excellence in service, or what I maybe first learned in New York. Excellence in service to me is about a feeling that people have when they leave, where they feel like you were on their side, where you truly cared about them. So it's not about how few mistakes you made, or how perfect the service was, or how perfectly you cleared that plate, or how perfectly you decanted that bottle of wine. To me, it's that glue that's in between you and the people that come into your spot, that they really feel cared for. That's what excellence is to me. The reason I got into the world of hospitality was really by fluke. It was a first job. When I was 13 years old, I was a busboy at a place called Malibu Jack's, famous for their good friends, good times taco dinner. And I just fell in love with the restaurant family that existed there. And I loved the immediate gratification that you got by doing stuff for people, you know? It was just so great. So I thought, you know, I've got to make a career out of this. I need to own my own restaurant.
Of course, I wasn't the one who interviewed Stephen, but I was certainly one of the few who welcomed him to the group in New York. And Stephen had an amazing energy and passion. We could really tell from the beginning.
Well, I learned a lot of things when I was down in New York. I first worked for my first 2 years with Daniel Ballou at Cafe Ballou, and through him I really understood what excellence meant. Unequivocal excellence, where your drive is for perfection.
My first impression with Stephen Beckta came at Cafe Ballou, and I believe it was 1996, when I ordered a bottle of wine and the nicest person came over to serve it to me. He was very memorable. And I also said to myself, here's a young man I would really hope would choose to work for us someday. Stephen was born with a natural caregiver element to his personality. It makes him very happy to see other people happy that are in his care. And I would say that that is the primary element of great hospitality.
And then I spent the next 2 years with Danny Meyer, and I would say he gave me a language that I had always been searching for the type of hospitality that I had been practicing and wanted to practice.
Yeah, I felt that he wasn't speaking French good enough. I think he should have been, but he was trying, yeah.
Yes, he used to say dude all the time. In fact, that became his nickname with me. I would just walk up to him whenever I'd see him and I'd go dude, and he'd say dude. And that was sort of our wink at each other, that I knew he was Canadian, he was proud to be Canadian, and we sort of kept it at that.
My earliest recollections of Steve are based on our meeting when I worked at another winery in Niagara called Cave Spring. He worked on our crush pad during the harvest in the late 90s. And I remember that he took time out from his career to come and work in a winery to understand what was happening in Ontario, and I think that led to a deeper understanding of what was happening in Southern Ontario.
So I've always been a really big supporter of Ontario wine. My experiences early days in the Ontario wine industry, I did harvest at Cave Spring back before I moved to New York City. I just loved the excitement that happens with an up-and-coming industry. How we're still trying to figure it out, what grapes are best grown in what areas, but really pushing the bar for excellence and slowly becoming those world-class producers, not only of dessert wine but also of table wine. And I love introducing to people this great Canadian wine when I was in New York and then when I came back, because I mean, this is our home industry. Like, you want to connect with those growers.
We have been very strong on training our staff for service in New York, and well known for that. And I think Stephen came already with some knowledge and confidence. I don't think he had the experience of New York City, and that experience in New York City with our restaurant group gave him the confidence to go back home and say, well, if I do it as good as New York, I'm going to be very good in Ottawa.
Well, I was sad because I was losing somebody that was very close to me. Stephen not only was a great employee, he was a great colleague. I consider him a friend, I consider him inspirational. I also felt a great sense of pride that somebody was actually going to go and do something on their own. And now I could be a sort of cheerleader, I could be a coach, a mentor, whatever he needed from me.
But no, when he told me that he was going to go back home and he wanted to one day open his restaurant, and I could see his ambition, I could see how motivated he was, and I could see that home was where he really wanted to be.
So I think a lot of people ask me why I came back to Ottawa from New York. A lot of people esteem to get to New York and enjoy those experiences that I did for 4 years, but I really wanted to have the bigger picture life where I could have a family and a balance and quality of life rather than being, huddled in a little one-room apartment in New York City and working 18, 20 hours a day every day for, the foreseeable future.
One of the most important attributes of Steve Beckta and his career has been his complete confidence in what he wants to accomplish. There's a humility about him, but there's an absolutely present determination and clarity in what he sees, and he brings that to the rest of the team working around him. Mike Moffat in the kitchen, running all the kitchens for him, the service staff, the brigades. They join the Beckta group and develop this unapologetic demeanor about what they're doing. I think it's very important, especially as a Canadian.
In New York, I would probably just be, one of 1,000 of, local restaurant and whatever. And here, it's fun. It's a different culture and it's a different life. And I really love the lifestyle that we created here.